My girl, I get that. I love my girlfriend. She doesn't listen to this podcast, so that's not a thing. My girlfriend's the worst person to go meet after I do well or don't do well.
I would be kill me either way.
Yeah, she
even
sits there.
That wasn't that good.
It's great though. Like that's the thing though. Is like I appreciate someone who is so comfortable with me and loves me enough that they're gonna give me all these things that my ego might gloss over.
Is she a comic or is she like?
No, she's just regular.
See, mine's a comic, and I felt sometimes she was sabotaged.
No, I know how to filter.
Your girl's a civilian, as I call it.
Yeah.
See, mine wasn't a civilian, and so there were some times where I would do something, and the audience would be dying. And I'm talking about I had laid the audience to waste. And then I would talk to her about it, and it was as if I didn't do anything. And I'd be like, well, damn, if I can't get you to laugh. And after a while,
then what's the issue?
Right. Well, it started sabotaging me to the point where I was going on stage with a vendetta, like, screw all of those people. I got to make that little sector laugh. And that didn't do anything well for me.
But there's also a part of it where she probably didn't laugh because she's with you a lot, and, like, the audience is, like, getting this small glimpse as to why you're hilarious, and she's with you all the time, so she knows why you're funny. And she's just like... Yeah, no, you did something similar like that last Tuesday.
Be that as it may be, but at the end of the day, it was too much thought going on into the process. Yeah. I was going into these performances.
Did you ask her for her opinion?
I had all kind of time. I asked her. I didn't ask her. She
just show up.
I said, give me positive. I said, just give me that. We tried all kind of different things. And I remember at one point, I was like, dude, you're not even going into it trying to be funny anymore. You're going into it trying to like prove something.
Oh yeah.
And for me, that's not who I am. Like I said, I want to come off stage and laugh. I want to come off and be happy. I want to come off with a little sweat, whatever the heck it may be. And with her, it was just more of I was just angry. You know, I was like, you're gonna laugh, and this is funny, and what? I had all those people laughing. And
like
I was
kind
like,
of the tour sort of thing.
Something, man. It was just for me though. It was not healthy for me. I'll tell people.
Sure.
A lot of my friends and my colleagues, they say, yeah, you weren't in a good place then. You know, it was about a year because I have a monthly show that I host. And I was always hosting, and so I have to do a new 15 at the beginning of every show, which that's a lot. If you've ever written anything, you understand that having a new anything every month for a year is stupid. We've done the show for 3 years, you know what I'm saying? And they have the rule is I can't do the same material on any show. So I've stuck by that. And for that year that we were together, man, I was going in there. And I mean, I'm up there just like, ugh, and you could read it on my body language that I wasn't happy.
How did she take notes? Did she want notes from you?
She did, but she tried to play it on the whole concept of because she's older that she knew what was right for me and she knew what was right for herself. So I couldn't give her notes.
So you thought that because you're new at this,
right? Exactly. And it would just make me, it would just tear me to pieces because I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
So you gonna critique me, and then after a while, it wasn't even me being critiquing her anymore. It was me being mean.
Yeah.
It was me being malicious. Well, you just went up there and talked. You didn't tell a joke. And I'm like, bro, why are you doing this? Like, first of all, why are you in this relationship? And the second of all, why are you tearing down another person?
Right.
And that's when I realized there's some changes that need to be made.
There's such a competitive nature to comedy, and not just stand-up, though, heavily in stand-up because it's a one-on-one situation. Yeah. But something that I've found a lot, especially when it comes to people who are going to do it, like, full-time and, like, really going to push forward, is that, like the people who move to LA and then, like, you see people here who are, like, mad at them as if somehow they did something to them by moving forward in their career.
Right.
And it's like when they do well or when they get a good show, they're like, oh, well, that guy, he doesn't deserve that. It's like, he's hustling. He's working hard.
I'm so happy when my friends do well.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm always so happy when people do well.
Yeah.
If I've met a person or if I've worked with a person and they go off and they do great things, I am over the moon with how proud of them I am because they had to work hard to get that, and I care about them and want them to do that kind of thing.
Well, every time one of my friends goes to LA, I'm like, send a letter back, to let me know that you survived. I don't know. That's scary as shit to me. That's like saying I'm going to like Lilliput or some shit.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm going to
it sounds like you're going to the Lion's Den.
I'm going to the jungle inside of Jumanji. You know, like for all I fucking know.
Yeah, absolutely.
A comic posted that, or he made a good point. He said, like, what will help you out in this job? Because there was always a little thing where they'd give people, like, give helpful advice to new comics. Is learn how to be happy for other comics' success.
That's right.
And learn how to not be bothered by their success. Because if you can do that, it'll give you years in this business. Because, I mean, I'm real. I'll say stuff like I'll see somebody that just started doing comedy a year ago, and that'll be just flying off the radar, and I'll be like, damn, how did they do that? But then at the same time, I remember we're not all running the exact same race. Some people's is going here, some people have hurdles, some people have to go under, some people are jumping through water, some people are just running straight as a sprint, you know? And at the end of the day, be happy that person is succeeding, and if they're close enough to you that you can actually feel something about it, learn from it. You know?
Dude, that's like easily,
learn from it.
That's like the exact opposite bit of advice I got when I first started. I remember there was a comedian who was doing pretty well in Austin, my first open mic, and I went to it, and he had talked me into doing it, and I was laughing my ass off at every joke that I thought was funny, really loud, and I realized that I was louder than a lot of people around me, and he told me that some comedians have developed like a golf laugh because they don't want other people to get more laughs than them, so they give them. There's like a respect laugh.
Friends even
I
do
said
that.
That's the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I hate that.
That made me so mad, and like I don't know, that put this weird thing in my head where I was like, oh, so I'm not getting any genuine responses right now. Every time I go up, somebody's like holding back because they need something for themselves.
That's what I love about like some of the sketch at the theater is like, those people will show up from other shows and or they used to do the show that you're in, but they're there now and they're the ones laughing the hardest because they're actually loving what they're seeing, you know, and it's just like, and it's good for you as a performer and it's good for the audience too because then they get on board with it and then that makes it all better. It's just like, and now I as a performer am gonna have more respect for you as a person.
Thank you.
You know, it's like it's super upsetting because I hear that all the time.
And that was the first thing.
Stuff like,
and that's the first thing I noticed about you. The first time I met you, you were easily the most like gregarious, like engaging, just like ready to talk to me for like 25 minutes because I think it was Dinner Detective or something like that. And then I saw you at an open mic. And you remembered me, and we almost started that exact same conversation that we had just had. And I was like, this is how fucking genuine people talk. And this is crazy. And I just remember just being like, what a supportive human being. What a nice dude. I want Courtney around all the time. Today, I didn't know your last name.
Well, no,
and they're like, we're doing Courtney Creighton. And I was like,
I don't use my
And then she was like, I'm from Dinner Detective. And I was like, fuck yes! Like, I was in the back of her car, and I was like, yes, she's so easy to talk to.
Who's that?
We are easily going to hit 2 hours today, which
Who the hell is this Courtney Creighton guy?
Dude,
Symply Courtney.
I know about
Yeah. No, it's totally...
Because we don't do that. Whenever I see you, you just come up and we just start talking.
I don't do names. I go up to people and I talk, and that's who I was born as. Like the person that people get that's me. Yeah. Whether I'm happy or I'm sad, and that was something that took me a long time to get with, was it's okay for me to be sad. It's okay for me to be mad. It's okay for me to be annoyed, angry, whatever. Because people are always like, especially as a guy, and especially as a black guy, you have to mask stuff. You know, you can't be sad. You can't be scared or fearful or worried. You're supposed to be bravado just 24/7. And I love that about the way I was brought up, is that we were brought up, it was myself, my sister, and my mom. Us three. And we were always able to express ourselves, you know, whether it was cussing each other out or, you know, what the hell's going on with these people, and laughing, you know.
Essential release.
Yeah, even my dad's side of the family, my aunts. Like, a lot of the characters, the voices, when I'm doing them, I hear their voices on performing them. I've had, let's say, one aunt, one uncle, a sister that have all passed on. I say a sister, my sister, I only have one sister. Have all passed on. So a lot of times when I'm doing characters or I'm talking as somebody else, maybe referring in third person or whatever, I'm doing their voice. That is a character that I'm doing. Everybody from even like there's a Rastafarian guy that I do. That's a person to me. Those are all living, breathing people. And so it's so funny that when people are like, oh, the act you're doing, and I was like, it's not an act for me. This is me just trying to tell you a story, and I'm giving you the truth. People ask my material all the time, where do you get your material from? And I say, from my life, it's me. I'm a black guy named Courtney that has lived 31 years, and I hope to live, way more than just 31. But right now, up to this point, my material is all my life. And it's where I thought it, or whether I felt it, or whether somebody said it to me, that's who I am.
Yeah, it's just your narrative.
Yeah. And that's super exactly, that goes all the way back to John Leguizamo. That was literally what drew me in about that sketch.
Yes,
I was like, oh, dude, my family's fucking crazy, too.
Right.
Like, I just kept thinking about that. I was like, that guy's got a crazy voice and has done some shit nobody's ever heard done before. Like that guy went to jail for a reason. Like, my uncle went to jail for reasons that you just didn't know they made big enough jails for.
Right.
And then, and this lady, methadone is this thing here. And then, I was like, holy shit. John Leguizamo took what would seem like a very terrifying...
Correct.
And, what some people in a very high pedestal would be like a dysfunctional upbringing or something.
Sure.
And I look at it like a fucking character building exercise where it's like, because you're going to meet all kinds of crazy people when you grow up. If you can just learn and love, if you can learn to love a weird sort of dichotomy of just crazy fucked up people, then you want everybody. Then you love everybody.
That's life.
That's the thing, is like I go out, I make people that I do not agree with on any political or mostly emotional or religious or philosophical level. I love them to death, and I grew up making them laugh. And now when I go out, that is like...
That's who you're entertaining.
Yeah, the people in the audience may as well be those same people, because those things don't line up for me. They don't matter. I don't care what your problem is that day. Like, matter. I don't care if, like, what your predisposition against a certain thing is or political lining. I want to make you smile. I want to make the biggest group of people smile and laugh. People told me I was good at that. I'm going to try and get better at it. That's what that's for. And my family I think my family is second guessing the whole supportive thing at this point.
Everybody's family.
Like, they're all like, hey, we didn't know you were going to be all like that, though.
Keep going. Keep going.
You say goddamn on Facebook like a lot, though, bro. You know, like, that's how
that's who you are, though, then keep doing it. I think that's the jacked up part about. And I don't have I'm probably going to be a hypocrite on this one. I don't have my family on my Facebook purposely for that reason.
I need to make a
second one. Yeah,
I do.
I have a cousin. Like right now, I have 2 cousins that are on my Facebook. My aunt is still waiting. She's never going to get on there.
Well, your family's here,
my
right?
mom. Yeah. Well, no, my family's all over. Like,
okay, see, I left my family in South Carolina.
Yes, my family's in LA. My family's in Arizona. I have family in Rhode Island, Ohio.
But from everything you said, they don't really grab me as the most like religiously conservative group.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the expressive.
My Dallas people were probably like okay with Trump being president.
Okay. No, like the whole expression part of it, like
WGN fans.
Probably.
Okay. Right on. And so that's my whole thing, though, is like I don't get to see them, and every year I go home, somebody else is dead, somebody new person is dead. So it's like when I go home, people find me. And they're like, hey, we want to see how Wendell's doing because he's not around and he might be dead. God only knows. So I accept their Facebook friendship.
Yeah.
I accept their Facebook friendship. I'm not going to change what I'm doing.
No, don't.
Mainly, and I also like seeing their opinions on things, even though it's dumb.
Keeps you human.
Even though I don't agree with it, I can understand what the other side's thinking. And that's really the only way I can grow intellectually, I think, is like to know that I'm not 100% right all the time, at least to understand why other people are doing stuff. So, like, I keep them there, and I constantly tell them, they're just like, I swear to God, why do you post this stuff? And it's like, because I can, and you can unfriend me, and we can just go back to you thinking I'm a kid again, you know? You're allowed to see what I'm doing. You're not allowed to make me do something different.
Right, you can't dictate my actions, but you're allowed to witness them.
You guys knew when I went out to Austin, y'all thought it was because I was gay. And it wasn't. I'm just weird, and I just am figuring this out. So it's like, you guys knew when I went out here that I was probably gonna expand in a way that was not gonna line up with South Carolina, because people don't expand in South Carolina. People just stay how they are because it's comfortable and it's nice and everybody looks the same and everybody.
I feel like on Facebook though, you're either people are either going to really express everything or they're a curated personality. I'm a curated.
That's where
I need to make a curated.
I think about the
Facebook,
second one.
though.
I would say I feel like nobody's exactly who they portray themselves as on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
I have imagined
I would
that
have
I'm
to
going
say
to
I'm
be.
fairly genuine on Facebook.
Oh yeah, you are. But,
you definitely are.
But
I am
not, and I think a lot of it has to do with since I was a tiny child, I imagined myself a famous person. I have always been like, well, I'm a celebrity, so I need to make sure that the person I'm putting out there is acceptable.
I imagine every day you walk out and you're just telling paparazzi that aren't there to calm down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me. I
just imagine. I'm always looking good. I'm like smiling as I'm getting in my car. You know.
I think I've seen you get mad on Facebook twice, and I've been like,
if I'm angry on Facebook, it's usually to say, "All right, everyone, let's just calm down a little bit." Like that's usually what it is.
I assume I did it, or somebody that I know did it. That's my whole thing. Is I feel like it's going to be.
But it's always vague. If I'm going to write something, it's a vague book all over the place. I'm never like John's a shithead.
Of course,
like,
it's always
sometimes
vague.
people shouldn't be doing this. Like, it's just something in that nature, but never anything that's in a larger sense could be deeply offensive. Also, I know my audience.
Right.
I know who I'm friends with on Facebook.
Yeah.
I know who's reading what I'm putting out there. And so I try very hard